Hey guys, Wayne here from H2 Tech Videos. This is part 3, Photoshop for beginners. In part 1 and part 2 we went over just some basics of how to find things. We've been going over just how to use some of the simple tools. And so in part 3 we're going to get into how to take an existing file that you have and add those images. And we're going to go over how to save. So let's just jump right in. Click on File, go to Open, and what you want to do is find whatever it is that you want to copy. So this is a thumbnail I made for a previous YouTube video. I'm gonna just click on it to open it. So again, just File, Open, and find the image and then open it. Now if you come up here, you have a little tab. So Photoshop separates your projects into little tabs. If I put the mouse on this tab and click, keep my finger on the button, I can drag it down and I can have both projects open at the same time. And so let's say I want to take this phone and I want to move this phone into this project. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, because this isn't a Photoshop file, I can't just take this one piece, this one layer, and drag it here. It doesn't work that way. This is a JPEG file, and a JPEG file is just one flat image. It's not like a Photoshop file, whereas like in the project we're working on, these are all different layers. I could just drag this one layer. If I right click on this balloon here, I can actually drag this balloon right into this project, and just that would come in here and nothing else. You see that? But it doesn't work the same with a JPEG file, because this is all one flat image. So if I try to move this, it moves the whole thing, not just that picture. And all I want is the phone. So to do that, you're going to first use your cropping tool, which is right here. So I'm going to click on the cropping tool, and you want to come to these little edges, these little center points, and when you put the mouse right on it, you get those two little arrows. If you click, keep your finger on the button, and we drag it up, I can say, hey, I can move it up just to the phone. And then I want to come over here to the edge, or the left side, do the same thing. I want to center it so that I'm just on the phone. And once you have it right around the image you want, you're going to hit enter on the keyboard, and it gets rid of everything else. I just have this part. Now I want to go up to the magic wand, which is the little star, little brush right here, or the looks like a witch's wand or whatever. And then I want to click on the white area, because I just want the phone. I don't even want the background. So I click on the white area, and if you have an image that's if the color, let's say the background wasn't white, let's say the background was like a gray, and it wouldn't allow you to it wouldn't make it this neat, you come up here to tolerance, and what tolerance does is it allows it to read more of the color. So if I set it to a very low tolerance, then well, it's sort of hard to explain, but in so many words, if the background color is similar, you want the tolerance to be higher, more aggressive, so that hopefully it just takes that one specific color. The lower the number is, it takes less. So you kind of want to play around with it to really get it right, but 25 is a good place to stay at. So once we've clicked on it and it's selected, I'm going to hit delete on the keyboard, the delete button, and the background is gone. And then you're going to press Control D to get rid of the outline. Now I'm going to go back to my pointer right here, and then go on the phone, right click on it, so to make sure we're on that layer, and now I can drag that onto here. See that? And now I just have what I wanted. I just wanted the image and nothing else. And now that I'm finished with this, I can come up and close this image. So that's sort of how you take an image from another file and move it into your project. Now remember, we could have moved the whole thing, but we just wanted that one area, so that's how you would do that. Okay, so let's say, okay, center it a little bit. Let's say we're done with our project. This is exactly how we want it to look. Now we want to save it. We're going to go up to File, go down to Save As, and make sure you're in the folder you want it to be saved. I'm going to go to desktop. I'll just save it on the desktop. So first I'm going to name it. Say my party flyer. Now Photoshop defaults to saving the file as a Photoshop file, and what I recommend that you always save it as a Photoshop file first, because if you don't, let's say you want to go back and you want to add something to it, or you want to take a layer out, or whatever, you want to be able to do that. So I'm going to come here, I'm just going to name it, I'm just going to hit save, and then this box pops up, and then we're going to press OK again. Now after, I'm going to go back to file and save as, and if you want to do it from the keyboard, it's Control Shift S all at the same time. And now under format, I'm going to click here, and then I'm going to decide, do I want to make it a JPEG, which is the file that you would like email it to someone in. It's a smaller file, so it doesn't take up as much space, so it's easier for emailing. Or I can save it as a PNG file, which is used more with online graphics. If you want to make it just a universal file that anyone can look at from their phone, then a JPEG is a good file, just the first one. And from there, we're going to hit save, and then we're going to hit OK. And now our file is saved and it's good, and we're done. Okay, and I can even close it just like that. And if I want to open it up later, Photoshop has a feature where I go to File and I go to Open Recent, and my recent project is right here. See that? I can pull it up just that easy. Now that we've kind of gone over saving, I want to show you how to get a little more advanced with your text, how to make the text pop out a little bit more. So let's say I want to work with this, hello it's me. You're going to put the mouse on top of it, right click, and then click on it, hello it's me. And now we're on that layer. You can't edit a layer if you're not on top of it, so you always want to make sure you right click on it and make sure it's selected first. I'm going to double click in this little shaded area right here, and I can do a couple of things. Let's start with a drop shadow, sort of makes it pop. So I'm just click on this area, and that's how you get to the advanced features of that area. I'm going to change the blend mode to normal, and now I can first manipulate the distance of the shadow. So is it, like that's a nice pop out there. I can get even more elaborate. You don't want to get too much because now it's like off the page. So I liked where it was at with 11. And feel free to use the up and down arrows on the keyboard, because you can sort of play around with it and it won't move too much just by using the up and down, left and right. And then if you change the size, it sort of fades a bit. So it just depends on what effect you're looking for, but that's how you manipulate that piece. I liked where it was at with 5. And then you have spread. Spread sort of makes it a little bit darker. It sort of defines it more. So if you want it to be like that, it pops out really strong. Probably say let's put it about here. And then from here we can change the color of the text. Or we have this cool gradient overlay, which will allow you to add a shade. So let's click on this area. You can define how the gradient, how you want it to be. We can move this over here. And there's some preset options, or you can sort of play with the colors manually down here just by dragging these. See, as I drag it, I get a little different option, and then I can drag up here, sort of control that. So a lot of different options here. If I want to change the color, I click on this little square and then click on color, and let's make it a blue. It's a little bit funner. As you can see, the darker and lighter shades sort of represent themselves differently, so you want to decide like what shade you want. And then I can come up here, or actually no, I want to keep that one the same. let's say if I move this white closer to the center. Oh wait, you have to press OK first to like submit the color you want. Then I can move this white here, and if I click on this line, I can add another little color, and maybe I want that same blue. And now you have this sort of effect where like the center is white and the outside is blue. You see, you move these little guys. So like a lot of this is just sort of playing around with it and just having fun with it and seeing what this does, what that does. But now we have this cool effect where the white is in the center. Now if we come up here to contour, we can actually make it pop even more. We give the text some shape. So there's texture and there's shape, and you can sort of adjust the range and get a little fancier. You want to go closer to the right, not the left in this one. Press OK, and then let's say we want to make the text a little bit bigger. We're going to come over here to our text tool, click, and then we're going to highlight it, and then we can use the navigation arrows to go up. And you can still change the font even after you've picked one. We can make a new one. Let's Times New Roman there, a little more fancy, or that's a little more conservative. At the top we've got some fun fonts. You can put it all on the same line. Make it 60. So that's fun. So a lot of this is once you know where everything is, you can sort of play around with it. I don't think it looks as good on the same line. We should probably keep it. There we go. So now that you sort of know where things are, this is a great starting point of you experimenting with Photoshop. Now, I sort of self-taught myself Photoshop, but someone went over all these basic things with me first. So now that I knew where things were, it was just a matter of trying to make something. So try to make a flyer for your kids, or try to make a flyer for work, and take an actual project you need to do anyway, and just play around with it. And now that you know how to add text, you know how to add pictures, you know how to manipulate the colors, you sort of have a base. So I hope that you guys learned some good stuff here. I'll sort of take the comments and questions that I get, and I use that to create like the 4 and 5. But I hope you guys found this helpful. Make sure you like, favorite, and share the video if it was helpful. Make sure you also subscribe to H2Tech videos, and have a good one.